everybody, I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. Before we get started, be sure that you're subscribed here on YouTube. It's totally free to subscribe. I would love to have you as part of my crafty family. Now this is going to be part 4 of my Cricut series with Design Space Hacks. These hacks are super helpful and ones that I use every day, so I want to share them all with you and make sure that you are going to be able to use your design space efficiently, quickly, and just make life a little bit easier for you. Now, if you have a favorite hack, please share it down below. I love to hear how you guys use your Cricut and what little tips and tricks make your crafting world a little bit easier for you. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Now, this is an item that's not necessarily what I would call a hack, but it is very handy to know how to use. There is an option called group. And what group does is it holds your design together on the canvas. So if you're working on something else and you accidentally click this and move it around, you click this and move it around, shoot darn, I didn't want to do that. I really just need them all to stay in place out of my way. Let me show you how to do that. I'm going to click undo just so they stay lined up. I'm going to go ahead and select the entire design and I'm going to go over to the layers panel. These two squares with the little lines on the corners is called group. You're going to go ahead and click that. And now when you click on your design, it doesn't matter where you click, your entire design is going to move together. This is also a super handy little tool to use if you need to resize your design, because you want to make sure that you resize everything together so that everything still lines up, looks good, and is still proportionate to everything else. The group option's great, and it doesn't have any bearing on when you hit make it. You're still going to get separate layers and separate mats because you have yellow, blue, and pink. So this is just a great way to keep yourself from messing up a design and keep everything held together. Now let's say that I have this design and I'm going to add an offset to this because I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it kind of a big offset. It doesn't have to be crazy, but I'm going to use this offset. First thing I'm going to do is contour the offset so that there's no holes in it. And I want to show you something. So let's say that I want this offset and this offset is going to be my design. I'm not going to have any of the design inside of it. So I want to slice the sun, the summer, and the lovin' out of the offset. First off thing I'd have to do is ungroup this, and then I would have to slice individual items. So I'd have to slice the sun individually, the summer individually, and the lovin' individually. So instead, let me go ahead and I'm going to group these again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select my entire design, go down to combine, and use this exclude option. By using exclude, I'm able to basically slice out my design, and now I have the offset as my design. The other nice thing is you'll see that my group is still here, so I can always come back to it if I need to. So if I go down to combine, I can undo the exclude or merge the layers, which is basically like turning it into a weld. But I'm going to undo the exclude now, and now you'll see that I have my pieces. Now you are going to have to recolor them, which is a little bit of a pain. That's just a design space thing, but it's much easier than sitting there and slicing all of the different layers. So exclude can be used to remove items, multiple layers all at the same time, rather than using slice, which can take a while. Let's say that we want to slice this star from the circle. So we basically just want a circle with a star cut in it. There's a couple ways that you can do this that are really easy versus using slice, but let me show you slice first. So if I say I want to take the star out and I click slice, you'll notice number one, it takes a second, but then I have to do a couple steps where it involves me deleting these layers. But there are better ways to do this that will achieve the exact same thing, but quicker. The first one that you can do is select both items, go down to your combine, and you want to go down to exclude. Simple as that. It removes the star from your circle and you can cut it just like that, all in one step without the deletion. But there is another option as well. You can actually just simply take both items, go down and attach them, and it's still going to cut the star out, but instead it just shows you the star. It will do the exact same thing. It just shows it to you in a different way. And again, it's one step versus a bunch of steps with slice. So that's a really quick way that you can get the same effect of slice with a little bit of time savings. If you want to cut this star, but with this pattern, there's a couple ways you can do this, but I'm going to show you a really super fast way versus the way that takes a while. I'm going to put my star over my pattern, and one way that you can do this is select both items and click slice. But for doing it this way, you've got a bunch of areas that you have to delete, which takes a while and it's pretty annoying. So I'm going to show you a way quicker, easier way to do this, especially when you're doing this with a pattern. Select both items, go down to combine, and choose intersect. Now you have your star cut out of your pattern. Now, is that a great pattern for the star? Probably not, but it gets the concept across. This is a great way that you can easily and quickly slice items without having to delete a bunch of layers. There's tons of ways to do this, but intersect is a really super helpful way to work with doing things like especially patterns with your shapes, your words, whatever it is you're using. It just saves you a couple of extra steps. Did you know that you can upload your own custom patterns into Cricut Design Space? Those patterns are used for print and cut, but it's a really fun thing that you can do, and it's honestly pretty easy. So what I'm going to do is go to Upload. In Upload, you'll see you have Image, which is what we use most, but we also have Pattern Fill. So if I click on this one and choose Upload Pattern, I'm going to choose Browse and find the pattern in my computer. Now you can make any image that you want a pattern, but I'm going to use this intricate floral pattern. And all I have to do, I can change my names, I can add colors, whatever I want to do, but I can just click Upload. I'm going to ungroup my pumpkin because I'm going to make the center portion of it the pattern. In order to access your patterns, change your operation to print and cut, go up to the colored square, and under this drop-down menu, choose Pattern, and then you can pick your pattern. Now this is probably not going to be pretty, but we can make it a little prettier by changing some colors. But I also want to show you that you can go under this and edit your pattern. So it'll show you your design, and you can scale your pattern. So if you want your flowers to be bigger, or you can make them really tiny so you can really play with your pattern. You can also kind of angle it if you want, like move it around, get it exactly where you want it. You can also rotate it. You can flip it. You can flip it sideways. Whatever you want to do with this, you can do, so you can play around with the pattern. Then once you're happy, I'm going to go ahead and just change a couple colors. I'm going to make this a brighter green, and then I'll make this pumpkin innard like a purple, and then we'll see what this looks like. Once we've got that, you can go ahead and choose flatten for this if you want to just print this whole thing, but this will just give you kind of a better look at what the pattern looks like. So now you can see you can really add any pattern that you want. Now, again, maybe I don't like that pattern. I can absolutely go in and change it to maybe this gingham pattern is better. Maybe I like this blue. Maybe I want a leopard print. There are so many ways to use this pattern option. And again, you can just edit the pattern if it's doing something a little bit weird, where it's kind of getting some of like those lines, because some patterns are just not the right size. So that's okay, you know, and you can move this if you need to change the color of your pumpkin. Maybe I want my pumpkin a little more on the orange side of things. I can just kind of take this and play with this and get that color the way I want it to. And then I can move the vertical up, and maybe I want like a little bit of a green and orange pumpkin. I can do that. Now, sometimes it does do a little bit wonky and it doesn't always work, and that's okay. That's just Design Space, and that's just how it is. So I'm going to just change this. I'm going to just change this design around, change the vertical to like 50. I will change the size. You know, you can just play with this and do whatever you want to do with your patterns. Some patterns will work better than others, but you can just play around with them. And being able to upload your own pattern is so much fun.